Welcome to another episode of
the Modern Black Man Podcast.
Oh, y'all can't hear it, huh? Modern Black Man Podcast. We out here. I'm joined by my amazing co-host Siren. Thank you so much for making the time.
No problem.
I'm
Sorry.
really excited to get this one started because I've been talking about this topic with other people, and I really want to have a more worldly conversation now. I've brought it up to you. We've been talking about corporate scandals like at Target, like at Bud Light, like at Vitamin Water. And I really want to get your perspective because I certainly have developed mine. What do you think of all this corporate scandal with sexuality?
There's no scandal. Let me say something about the corporations. I'm gonna come in here and defend them.
Okay.
Fuck rainbow, fuck black, fuck white, fuck whatever other color you can name or any other identification. What's the one thing that's one color that everybody wants?
Green?
Money. So at the end of the day, corporations, Disney, whoever, they are gonna do whatever it appeals to get the money. These corporations don't really give a shit about anybody, to be honest, except making the money flow. So there is really no scandal. I expect nothing less of them. I expect every Pride Month that everything will be rainbow, and the next month they're gonna pull all the shit down. There's no scandal. I don't see why people are offended. You want Target to go out of business, or do you want them to make as much money as they fucking can?
Where do we begin with this?
These stores, and sorry, I gotta say this. These stores are corporations. They don't owe nobody no fucking morals because you feel like because you're a black or white Christian and you don't believe in these. It's a store, damn it. It's a store. Either go buy your toilet paper and your groceries and get the fuck out, or don't shop there.
Amen. I don't know where to begin. I don't know how I'm gonna eat this pizza because it's all over the place. I mean, Alan Greenspan, he dictated that a corporation has one responsibility, and that's to make money for its shareholders.
That's it.
That is a fundamental of economics. It's a basic tenet. It's what some people would even argue has made America great over the last 50 years. But my issue in today is that I'm confused. And I think that these ads and these agendas confuse me even more. I say this because I don't care about the kids usually all the time. I love the kids, but I really feel that this generation is different and their vulnerability isn't the same. What I mean is that in my generation, because there's nothing new under the sun, I really think that maybe children, I'm not blaming them, but I'm saying that this isn't anything new. And I find a fault or a problem with what I see as sexualizing people too young. I'll lead with that thought.
What does being gay or like being queer have to do with like actual like penetrative sex? Like, let's get that out the way because that has nothing to do with it.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because I really wouldn't care about this, but some of the shirts and some of the products and some of the marketing materials they're making for babies and little kids that can't read, are stretch.
Are they saying sucking dick? Because I mean, I've seen, like I've told you in the past, I've seen some hetero shirts that say some really like fucked up shit that kids shouldn't be wearing.
Yeah, no, but they're pretty close to saying stuff. I didn't curse. Saying stuff like spitters or quitters, pretty much. Like, it's not appropriate for children's clothes is why I have an issue. Because I love gross stuff for me. I love when women do nasty things. No, I lost her. This always happens, man. She's gonna come back. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be good. I'm not gonna say anything. But yeah, I'm leaning all the way into that. I just don't agree with trying to groom or sexualize kids. I don't think I should have to provide any kind of caveat for that, but I have something really interesting to say, and I really would like my partner to be here so I could say it. It's a thought that I've been cooking, and I'm going to save it. As far as Bud Light, Vitamin Water, and Target, their number one responsibility is to their shareholders. And with that responsibility, I really want Siren on here so I could talk about exactly what she said. Because I've done a little bit of research and I've looked at the numbers. And I'm not happy with the losses that my hometown Busch, Anheuser-Busch, is taking. InBev, the European brew juggernaut, has lost a lot of money. And this one might be a solo one, but that's okay. We could do a solo. We could do a solo dolo. I really wanted her energy on this one because I don't want to feel like I'm bashing. She's in the back of my head thinking about punching down on people, but it's not that. It's that it's wrong to suggest to children. It's that it's wrong to craft the bed with your corporate responsibility. It's that it's wrong to trivialize people's lives and lifestyle. And that's why I am not in support. And she's back.
Sorry, it's so hot. My phone
That's all right.
cannot handle the heat. But I wanted to make a point to you that I thought about. So I wanted to realign your argument about the sexualizing the children because like I said, I don't like when people, people identifying as queer automatically goes into
Pedophile.
sex. Yeah. So let me put this out there. And shout out to my ex-partner, now great friend. They make a lot of good content, informative content about the legislation going on in Florida and trans people because they are trans. Okay. So they shared with me recently a crazy statistic because people are so hyper obsessed with the trans community right now. Yep. Do you know how many people in America identify as trans?
Oh, I have an idea. I've heard numbers that it's less than 1%. You're going to tell me it's a crazy, crazy number.
It's less than 1%. That's true.
Yeah.
So let me put this out there. When we talk about these over-sexual shirts that are out for Pride Month at Target, with that small percentage that we know of and how hard it is, for trans people with getting employment, do you think that those trans people are sitting on those boards at the Target meetings making these shirts?
No, so and that's kind of the problem.
So that's why I want to realign your argument. I had a young lady comment on a post I put up about how I was annoyed with, the fetishization of pride and how it's losing its, its meaning as a movement and as a demonstration because so many people want to sexualize it and only being prideful when they can go out and party and drink and fuck. So, excuse my language. I'm sorry. So
no, please curse.
So with that being said, a friend of, not even a friend of mine, because I don't really like the girl, and I have a lot to say about that, but whatever. She commented on my post about that, which had nothing to do with freaking children. And mind you, I'm a mother, so I get a little annoyed with people's, when I'm talking about queer things, they bring up, children. I have a child, so I understand. But she brought up about protecting the children from the queers, and I thought to myself, I said, I told her, I said, protecting the children is not even just a queer responsibility, it's an all-around responsibility. Because there's a lot of things I could bring up from heterosexual people that have sexualized children. Like I said, the Target situation to me really is kind of obsolete to queer people because I have a strong feeling those queer people are not in those rooms doing those designs for Pride because they'd be way different. That's a sad thing because they should be in there doing it.
Wait, well, did you hear about the executive? I forget her name at Target. She is actually supposedly a Satanist, and they're a transgender. They identify as transgender. It's a woman transitioning to man, I think. And I only know this because the conservative community, the church, gets very upset. And like I'm, doing this episode because I've done a couple. The world can't be on fire because of what you just said. Less than 1% are trans. And I remember over a year ago at Netflix when they got rid of hundreds of trans employees at Netflix, supposedly, after that Dave Chappelle. Remember? All those people left. So that's why I'm super convicted and on here, because I think that we are in a real point in history where we just feel everything because of media, social media, the aftermath of the pandemic and economic uncertainty in
It's
America.
misery. I'm gonna send you a video later, and it's by one of my favorite YouTube creators. She's called Fab Socialism, and no, this is not a socialist video per se, but she brings up a new phrase called misery pollution. And I mean, I don't know if you saw my Instagram story. You probably not because you were at work, but I was talking about, even with me, about why I've had to reevaluate my social media and lower my consumption on certain things. Like, for example, I'm not really entertaining any more poly content. That might be surprising. I don't want to see those things. The only things I want to see on my For You page are memes, Hello Kitty, roller skating, and pole. And I've really done a good job of that, because it becomes so much. People talk about the negatives, and they're not showing other sides of things. And I get tired of it. My social media is not for me to always be on this crazy hate train or looking at conspiracies. I want to sometimes have a place to get on, laugh at memes, relax, see my family and friends posting their life and their things like that. I feel like it's misery pollution. Every time you go on the internet, you're seeing so much bad stuff constantly, something to get you in an uproar constantly, when really there isn't really an uproar.
Yeah, that's what's going on in the world, is that everybody has access. We can tap into the info, and we get pissed off that we have constant information. It's crazy.
It's that extreme FOMO with I'm gonna try to turn off my car again. It's that extreme FOMO where we have this fear of missing out, but what are we really? It's like the news cycle, for example, and that's why, like, even with these, like, these quote unquote agendas and things like that, this is something like, not only are corporations making money, the news cycle has something new to pick up on and talk about for days on end. They don't need to, while skipping over important things that we probably need to know.
Yes. Man, the news. Why is TikTok personalization better than our local news cycle? That is the most frightening thing that no one's talking about. We are quick to ban TikTok. We are quick to identify.
Hold on. TikTok is kind of a problem.
Well, because of what I'm talking about, the algorithm in TikTok is sick. They can look into your mind differently than American social media.
Yeah, it was specially created by China, and it was created. I'm not saying that China necessarily is gonna do anything bad with it, but because of the chokehold it has on America and how intricately it was created, they could do bad with it. So I mean, I am one of those people who was kind of like, I'm not a huge TikTok user. I am trying to get back into using it for personal reasons, but I've always kind of held that sentiment when people get mad, like, oh, they're trying to ban TikTok. Well, like, unfortunately, the government, as shitty as they can be, does have some decent information and a decent argument in this, that, there is a downside to TikTok that people, again, because people, and I get it. I mean, I'm a hyper obsessed person with the internet, so I do understand it. But, they have a good valid point about why they don't want to have it over here. So, maybe sometimes, again, that's why I said, like, I think people all, and I'm not saying that I'm glorious for doing it at all, but that reevaluation of what we interact with, because again, even things that I do maybe agree with, I don't still want to see constantly on my timeline. I mean, the amount of people who are alternative lifestyle like me, who I have deleted off my Facebook, is ridiculous.
I can't believe that you're doing that, but you clearly have a reason.
I get overwhelmed, and I said on my story earlier today, there are everybody, though they might be in the same quote unquote community as me, does not always have, again, that word, the same morals as me or the same interests. And I mean, even like I tell people, like, me and somebody had a conversation about, it's probably, I'm not going to bring it up, but like about how life is very fleeting. You're supposed to change. I expect people to change. I expect opinions to change. Even as somebody who creates content, my opinions change, and I like to see that from myself and the people around me. Yes. So I would hope that people do grow.
Yes. I think you can legitimately grow, but you are experiencing growth and you're changing things in your life because you're growing. So that's dope. Like, yeah.
Like I said, and then that, like I said, that constant uproar, constantly getting online and I don't mind having meaningful conversations, but I don't always want to argue with people about certain things. You know, that constant, we got to go to battle on the post and all that stuff like that. I get tired of that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I try not to be a very argumentative person online, because I think that I've seen this last couple years. That's all they like. That's the point. Like, I get it. Like, I think the internet has been an excuse for us to do dumb stuff, right?
And
so
it's all in how you use it. And I think that's what I'm kind of growing towards is, you know what? I've been blessed in my day-to-day life that I have been able to make some great connections off the internet into real life. Yeah. But at the same time, like I said, sometimes I do have to evaluate that. Yeah, sometimes I don't want to get on the internet and be miserable. Life is already hard enough. So now I got to sit here, you know, Pride is going on. We're trying to enjoy that. Now I got to get online and people want to argue about is Target demonic and all this shit. Like, you know, I don't want to do that. I just want to go to Target and pick up my toilet paper, because a lot of these people are saying all this shit about Target and Disney and everybody else. But I can tell you what, when them kids ask next year to go on that Disney trip, I bet them ninjas is putting money in their bank account to save for it.
Exactly. And I mean, there's so many strings we could pull, so many different directions we could go. Evil isn't even pure anymore. Like, Target is not the evil empire to me, and Bud Light certainly isn't either. And that's the point I wanted to make, because I was talking to somebody today and I just cracked myself up. You know, Bud Light kind of got off because rednecks drink that shit. They don't want to see Dylan Mulvaney. Like, that's not representative of me. I'm not in that at all. And that's kind of where I asserted myself, because I realized the culture wars that we have now are that vast. Like,
people are looking at the capitalist society through the wrong lens. And I feel like if you're going to call these big corporate companies for stuff, call them out for poor business ethics, call them out for overworking people, call them out for not having benefits, call them out for other stuff that matters. Because this pride thing does not matter, because at the end of the day, it's not about who's demonic or anything. It's about making money and appealing to what is going on. Because I'm telling you right now, when Juneteenth rolls around, that pride stuff is going to be next to some Black history and Black stuff. You know they're gonna do it.
It's gonna be a rainbow with a black fish. I don't know what you're talking about. They use some same cans, and it's gonna be a rainbow with black ink, brown ink on a blue can.
Exactly.
It is.
So there's no reason for uproar. This stuff is all by design, and it's not by design to appease anybody. Because I can tell you right now, yeah, maybe the CEO of Target is a Satanist trans woman. Okay, but if not, guess what? At the end of the day, Target's overall goal is not to even appease their CEO or anything like that. Target's goal is to make sure their shareholders and whoever else in there make the bread that they need to make, and that is it. There is
maximize profits. That's a CEO's job. That's a traditional CEO's job, to maximize profit.
That's it. So
that's what it should be. Stick to the script.
So I don't think, like I said, so at the end of the day, when people are like, oh, this store is appealing, get out your feelings. If you feel bad for somebody, feel bad for your overworked cashier. Feel bad for them. This stupidity over, because you're not, again, I tell you right now, if I ride up the road, the Target by me is still up and bumping. So again, you're still gonna go shop there. I feel like social media is such a lie. People get in such uproar, but they're gonna go to Walmart tomorrow. They're gonna go to McDonald's. They'll eventually buy a Bud Light when Pride Month is over. People are acting like they're in such an uproar about stuff that they're really not. Because again, if you're a Bud Light drinker, what other beer are you going to?
You know, but that's where the thought hit me. I don't drink that junk. I don't drink that horrible brew. But the people that do, that usually don't have teeth and wear mullets, deserve to have their product their way. It's like I said, I
hate to say it, but Jimbo, John, no offense, and I get that that's their demographic, and as a business, from a business standpoint, maybe they will take the pride flag away, but they also don't want to be in this cancel culture of controversy either. So that's something else to bring up. So
that's the point. Yes.
That's why I said they're not. This is nothing. I don't like that people are taking it so personally when it's nothing personal. Either you like the product or you don't. Yeah, at the end of the day, there's still other cans of Bud Light that you can buy that don't have the pride flag on it. So it's nothing like, there's really no outrageous uproar except a corporation doing what a corporation does. I have no problem with any of them, because they're doing what makes them freaking money.
Exactly. So you think the profit motive is the only one?
Oh, most certainly. These companies don't give. Listen, these companies gonna work the gay, the straight, the trans to death. If it's making them profit, they don't give a fuck.
Right.
They don't care. I mean, like, that's why I say that people want to get in an uproar in their feelings about stuff. Getting to feelings about how we all have been taken advantage of. Getting into your.
You're muted. You're muted.
Because at the end of the day, people are people. We're gonna have gay people in the world. We're gonna have black people. We're gonna have trans people. We're gonna have everybody in this mofo. We are a melting pot of people, and I wish that the American people would get over it.
But I feel bad for Dylan Mulvaney because he's a weird looking guy. He really is. And I think that's why this whole thing came crashing down on him. The Target CEO is got to be a weirdo because they're smart enough not to be seen in the daylight. And like I said, aren't we supposed to be inclusive? Isn't the whole push for all of this like diversity, equity, inclusion? Like, I want all the weirdos at the party. Don't get me wrong. Like, I want all the wildness. I want everybody there. I'm just saying that the things that I'm seeing I don't like are how excessive, wanton, maybe greedy that they've gotten. Because, like I said, I forget the actual reference. Me and my buddy were joking about it really good the other day. But having baby clothes with sexual statements makes me a little uncomfortable.
But Chubbs, that's been a thing. I told you, there's a video. I'll show it to you another video there, like where a guy is on Amazon going through shirts that are probably made for the hetero straight people that say some very inappropriate things on them for children. So this is not a queer issue. This is an everybody issue.
That's the point I was conceding. I wanted to be me. I wanted to joke about me creating the baby with the mom, right? Like, because that's the way we all are. Just like it's so disgusting to hear anybody having sex the way that you don't, right? Like, I think that we're all guilty of that. And that's why I say I want everybody at the party. I don't care. I just think that it's funny that to get there, we have to go through all these things, if that makes sense. Because
but we're only gonna get there if everybody takes a hand equally looking internally. That's why I said, like, you know, like I said, the girl who told me, oh, protect the children, you're talking about pride. I'm just like, you know, okay, well, you also too, bitch. Go protect the children then, because you just think because, you know, like, because that's what she tells me, like, I am queer and I'm all this and stuff. No one cares, sis. Shut up. Because at the end of the day, like I said, people, the thing that cracks me up with people is we get on social media and make these big posts and all say all this stuff, but when we come off of social media, what the fuck are we really doing?
Niggas think they're gonna legislate with tweets. They think that they're gonna make the law by saying, you know what I mean, of the world the way they see it fit. So I definitely think that's the culture. And you go into the world and you talk to people and they just want to be disconnected. Honestly, I think most people are just desperate to not be caught up in the consequences of either reality or their reality. And
people, that's what
okay.
social media has become. It's become, look at VR becoming popular. Look at all those things. People are wanting to escape the day, and I get it. Life is hard. That's why I said I want to go on social media and I want to laugh at memes because, yeah, life gets hard and sometimes that brings me some joy. But at the end of the day, like I said, when it comes to these think pieces and all this stuff like that, people, social media is not a real place. Again, like I said, most of these people who are talking about protect and save the children are still the same people who be at the cookout or visiting the baby, talk about, oh, he's such a flirt and he's only like 1 month old.
Were you quoting R. Kelly songs or talking about him coming to the picnic?
Both of them, I guess, because listen, that's what I'm saying. And it cracks me up with all these people talking about protect the children, but we got a whole generation of people who vibed out to R. Kelly and probably knew that R. Kelly married Aaliyah at 15 and didn't do a damn thing.
Bro, that's the other half of the show I wanted to talk to you about. I done found some things. They say Diddy has been grooming kids. I just got wind of this. I don't believe it, but I just
look
heard
at Birdman and Lil Wayne and all of them.
They said Diddy got Usher, Justin Bieber. I mean, they laid out a whole bunch of kid artists. Nick Cannon was sleeping over at dude's house when he was like 15. So yeah, I think that
but that's people's fave. But that's people's fave, so they don't care. Again, that's why I said people pick and choose. They battle so good.
Well, I said it earlier. Why don't we just have a standard? Like, like there can be a universal standard. Like just treat everybody a certain way. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said because all that differs from person to person. Again, that's why I said it's easy. Especially, I hate to say this about the Black community, but in the Black community, we have a really bad habit. Once somebody reaches this pinnacle of capitalism, money, success, especially somebody like Diddy, for example, you know, they're just a hero. They're great, even though they do nothing except entertain. They do nothing like nothing else positive for the Black community. They just entertain, and that's it.
But the rules change once you get the brand. You get the bag. There are no rules.
There are, but I hate to dip out, but I have to go.
All right, I appreciate you. We're gonna do this again soon. Do you want to share any handles or anything so people can keep up with you?
Just follow me on Instagram at Syren SYREN 713 _. I think that's also my TikTok handle as well. And you can see some of my poll content. Nothing really going on this way. Like I said, I'm pretty, just doing the things.
Doing amazing things. That's Syren SYREN 713 _. Poll content's banging. All her content's banging. Soul's amazing. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.